Good evening and welcome to this evening's meeting of the Woodbury County Zoning Commission. Today's date is Monday, October 23rd, 2017, and it is 6 o'clock p.m. Tonight's meeting will be audio taped and minutes will be prepared. In respect to all parties, we ask those present turn off cell phones or set to vibrate. Those in attendance are asked to legibly complete the attendance sheet up on the front table. I would like to take a moment to review the procedures that the Commission will follow tonight. First, the Commission will handle the normal housekeeping agenda items, and for each application on the agenda, I will open the public hearing on the item. The Planning and Zoning staff will then present the staff report, including the staff recommendation. Any letters or other communication received from the public prior to the hearing will be entered into the record. The applicant will then have the opportunity to present his or her case and respond to staff report. Next, we will hear comments from the public. If you would like to speak either in support of or against the application, you must come to the microphone. Please first state your name and address for the record. All interested parties shall be heard, but repetitious comments should be avoided. Repetitious or irrelevant comments may be ruled out of order by the chair. I ask that you remain respectful and courteous with your comments at all times. After all public comments have been heard, the staff and applicant may make a closing statement. The hearing shall then be closed by motion and vote. Thereafter, no further comments from the staff, public, or applicant may be heard unless asked for by the Commission. The Commission shall then deliberate the case and may ask questions of the applicant, the staff, or any party offering testimony. However, such questions do not reopen the hearing for additional comments from the public unless so requested or approved by the Commission. The Commission will then formulate and vote on a motion. The motion will typically either grant or deny the requested application. Any Commission member who has an ex parte communication to place in record of this meeting should do so prior to the beginning of the deliberation of the respective agenda item. First item on the agenda is any citizen not on the agenda wishing to be heard. Seeing no citizens here, we'll go on to the next agenda item. Approve the minutes of the Zoning Commission meeting of September 25th, 2017. Do we have any additions or deletions? And if not, do we have a motion? Okay, we have a motion to accept the minutes as written. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Next item on the agenda is zoning ordinance section 2.02 colon 9.e, review and recommendation to the Board of Adjustment for a conditional use permit application by property owner applicant Darren M. and Holly M. Peterson. John, will you read the information into the record?
Since you've been through a number of these over the past months, I'm not going to paraphrase in the interest of time. This is a conditional use permit. It's somewhat unusual. It's not a borrow. It's not a concrete batch plan. It is basically one that I don't think we've ever had, at least on my watch, the last 15 years. It is a request for something called an accessory structure for a relative, accessory dwelling, really, for second dwelling for a relative. And this was a line item that was put into the ordinances back in August of 2008 in response to finding a way to put elderly parents, handicapped children, and farm tenants or farm labor into a second dwelling on the parcel. And when it was added with the conditional use requirement to deal with all the issues related to basically multiple housing on a single parcel. We've provided you with each of these standards, the 7 standards, and then I'll give you some background information. This is for the placement of, again, a second dwelling. This one will be 26 by 24 feet. They will install a separate septic that are looking at maybe sharing the well if the well has got capacity to do it. Those are typically issues we'll take care of in the building permit process. It is, again, a permanent structure for a special needs child, a son, high functioning but special needs. What's unique about this particular issue is it lies within about a 300-acre farm consisting of 8 parcels. And the second dwelling will be got some floodplain on this parcel, but the site of this proposed building site is outside the floodplain. The zoning is AP, which meets one of the standards, the first standard. Overall, this site lies in between Anthony to the north, west, and then Danbury to the southeast, about equal distance between. It is, I guess what we would call a more remote portion of rural Woodbury County. Our assessment, basically based upon the factors of, hey, out of sight, out of mind, doesn't impact right away, doesn't impact neighboring property, because the neighboring property is owned by the applicant. We provided you with a series of information and photographs, which I kind of want to go through so you understand the kind of the uniqueness of this thing.
This is that long drive, this is 270th Street. North up the drive, the existing dwelling is, I'm going to zoom this up now. We're coming up the drive. This is where the existing single-family dwelling is. That is where the applicants live. The location of the residence, second accessory structure, is proposed in this area, approximately 110 feet southwest of the existing dwelling. We would make that be separately addressed. But we do have a couple conditions that we would recommend you place in your recommendation, so the board of adjustment would consider them. And they're kind of outlined to do this. The permitting, the conditional permitting of this new dwelling is tied basically to a qualification that it be occupied by a relative. Obviously, the son is on that list. The issue is this: you get it built, and for some reason the son is no longer occupying the residence, that second dwelling, it's disqualified. So what we would wish the recommendation would include would be covering basically two things. One, if the house isn't occupied by the right person, that it would have to be, the parent parcel would have to be divided or split, and you get that second dwelling on a separate parcel. If they weren't willing to do that, we'd have to ask that one of the dwellings be removed. They can pick and choose which one they want. Obviously, it would probably be this one, and they're well aware of these issues and expect them to come up. We've had this happen before, where second dwellings for some reason got built in the past, and when the right person isn't living in it, under whatever the rules were before 2008, you get them built, you just don't, unless there's some teeth in the record, you don't have much to go on to make a request they move it or split it. So we'd like to cover that. I think it best protects the record, provides the applicant with, hey, I'm entering into doing this, understanding this is what I need to do. Now, most of the time, most of the time it takes care of itself, because they go to a bank to get a loan, and the banker doesn't want 40 acres of ground tied to 24 by whatever foot structure. So they make them split it out on a separate parcel.
Right.
We see that all the time. This one, I don't think they'll be borrowing money, or at least they say they will not, so they're just constructed. Probably a manufactured type home, but meets our minimum dimension standards, so we're okay with that.
What about your employee concept? Would you want to leave it enough wiggle room, or if it was an employee of the farm?
They would, yeah, that, I think the line item does read, in our recommended language in the condition is such that when it ceases to be a qualified relative, they could always come in and re-up for a tenant or a farm worker.
If there was somebody in the operation, they could use that and then rent it They always have the option down the road though to subdivide.
Mhm.
Well, they wouldn't have to subdivide here.
No.
It'd be a
if it
second
wasn't-
split.
Sure.
Yeah, second, okay.
Yeah.
They can fix the problem down the road if no relative or farm employees living in it. They can still
Keep the house there.
divide it, keep the house there. I mean, they have an avenue to go down
Yeah.
without removing the house.
Really two, one, keep the relative in it or a qualified.
But if they
individual.
don't have that option, they still have an option where they could utilize, they'd have to divide the property.
Maybe we should go through the exact language so you kind of understand where we're coming from.
Because part of the issue that could arise there too is down the road where it's a non-conforming use. I mean, you run into some insurance issues too, don't you?
They could, I mean, but we don't evaluate.
No, I mean, if they're aware of that,
I'm sure they all would be.
because I know in the past, that's been a deal where it could have been conditional use, but then at some point, depending on what happens, damage is, 50%, then it can't be rebuilt. Things like that could arise.
Right. Mhm.
Just so they're aware.
Make sure the bases are covered for them. Mhm.
This is kind of how we kind of formulated the language in the conditions for your review. The other issue in this thing is when this event happens, non-qualified person is in the house. I mean, there's no transaction that takes place that we're notified.
Mhm.
So we would ask that, number one, that the applicants are required to notify in writing the Office of Planning and Zoning, our address, et cetera, within 30 days from the date the accessory second dwelling for the relative is no longer as the primary residence for the qualifying relative. And that should, for any reason, the accessory second dwelling no longer meet the above occupancy requirement, that the parent parcel is to be split, resulting in the two dwellings being sited on qualifying independent parcels. Or, in the alternative, one of the dwellings is permanently removed from the parcel. We think that'll cover the Board of Adjustment. I think they'd probably come up with this on themselves,
Right.
if not, but I throw it out there for kind of inversion territory here, because we haven't really had one that like to incorporate something like that in the ultimate resolution of the Board of Adjustment.
Well, it'll be interesting too to find out what kind of obstacles they do come across when they're trying to do this too. If it's like an insurance issue or if it's a banking
Well, if
issue.
they're
or-
not financing it, that would be the first one that would
Yeah,
pop up, that the
right.
bank would deny it just for that purpose. But
Right.
since they're not doing that, that's irrelevant, but you could still run into some issues beyond
Well,
that.
you
Down the
know,
line.
you tell these people, hey, you got, make sure, are you financing this? And they, kind of want to know why. You ask them, here's the reason, the bank, if you are, may make you have the second dwelling on a separate parcel. You may not have a choice as well, then they're responsible for that property finance. But they may ultimately do it, have the conditional use and get it split out anyway, who knows?
Right.
The insurance deal, I'm trying to think of why an insurance company would have a concern that it be separately parceled.
Because if
Well,
they have a major
The
claim,
problem would arise if it could become, well, it is a non-conforming use.
Mhm.
If that were to change down the road, I mean, it's like the properties, the structures that are grandfathered, and you can keep them as long as they're there, but if there's damage beyond 50%, then you can't rebuild. Insurance companies sometimes, they're not gonna make a payout to you, so it's
Right.
gonna affect the way it can be insured for replacement cost value, things like that. That's where something could come into play, that it could, if it had damage and the kid moved out at the time of the damage.
Mhm.
Well, what's unique about this, just remember here, when when the Board of Adjustment issues a conditional use permit, it's not tied to the property owner. Obviously, we've got the applicants here, but it's tied to the structure and the parcel. So the right to have the second dwelling on there, subject to the same conditions, would be transferred to any future owner, unless the board just put a timeline on this thing, which I don't think they would do.
Mm-mm.
son and there's damage to the house and they say he can't live there anymore.
Or is
And they don't have
condition gets
something-
worse or better?
Right, but what I'm getting at is if there's damage, that's, say there was a fire because he left the stove on or something like that.
Well, I think the conditional use permit would allow it to be rebuilt.
But if he was moving out and nobody else there,
Then you got.
then you wouldn't be able to. That's what I'm getting at, those are the small windows that.
Unless you
insurance-
subdivide.
Then they would have to subdivide,
Or
and then
split
maybe
it.
the insurance company would pay out on damage and, but that's something they gotta get in the
They
weeds
gotta,
here.
they gotta,
Right, but I'm
yeah.
just, it's a, you know, well, I didn't know that, you know, you just.
Try to inform them as much as
So-
possible
so
what
they-
could
So they
happen.
look into it, I guess that's the only thing I saw as a problem behind it. If the financing was one thing and the insurance
You covered the
Insurability.
Mhm.
Okay.
problem, I mean, I know that's with grandfathered structures, that was an issue because some
Mhm.
insurance claims won't pay if you don't rebuild, they'll reduce that or, you know.
I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
So they just, so they're
We
aware.
have replacement value.
Right,
Sure.
they're not gonna pay you $150 if that's what it costs to rebuild, if you can't rebuild it,
Right.
Yeah, okay, you appreciate that.
right?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
just so that,
I
that's
see-
the
I see
other
where you're
thing
coming
that I
from.
thought of that could come into play.
I
But
tell you what, I
that's-
will make sure that issue comes up in the
Just so
public
it's
hearing
brought,
process.
that, you know, it's just, it's a good idea, so they can't down the road
Right.
say, well, we gotta rebuild that, and if we don't do this, we can't. But they
Right.
can still divide, and then they can
Yep.
take care of the problem.
Yeah. The only other thing I can think of too is just from a marketability, but they have 300 acres. The odds of these people selling their acreage is probably not high. So marketability on something with 2 houses is kind of unusual and might decrease the value.
That's-
Well, and there
You
again,
know?
it's the same thing, if you pointed out, or they're aware of it, that it's not.
Mhm.
that
It doesn't affect
They're
our,
doing it.
what our decisions or anything, but just let them know that there are possible ramifications. Long-term, short-term, whatever.
We got it.
Okay, so on this one, do we need to go through each of the items? How do you want
Yeah,
to?
if you'd like to, I just, maybe I should read the, what the staff recommendation was in general. Sure that's- I guess we were moved to a point, weren't we?
Mhm.
Staff's recommendation is that due to the nature, the location primarily, we feel the impact of a second dwelling is negligible at best, at worst. You gotta go a long distance for even to have anybody who's gonna see the house. And outside of the issues related to insurability or insurance and marketability, we can certainly make sure they're put on notice in regard to those. If you want to go through each of these individually, happy to. If there's
Anybody have any need?
anything that's
No?
necessary.
Okay.
Maybe just to protect the record, I'm gonna not go through them individually, but we'll just talk briefly about issues. Obviously, it's the right zoning district,
Mhm.
so we'll skip A.
Mhm.
It's in harmony with the general purpose of the location, which allows single-family dwellings at lower densities. And this is within that 2 per 40 acre
Section.
quarter.
Okay.
Okay? And we feel that it meets all the dynamics and detail of the general development plan, as well as our zoning ordinances. Adverse effect, negligible, as I said. Obviously, traffic, parking, utilities available, all support. Below this placement. Compatible for neighborhood by design. We've got the from
there's no issue with shared driveway
No,
from Mark's standpoint.
no, he allows more than two now. Used to be Dick Storm was like to limit them to two. This will be the second one. We'll use the same post and just put them in another green number on the post. They will pay for that application. The well and septic issues will take care of themselves based upon the capability of the existing well, and they're agreeable to the new septic system for them, this new structure. It's not very difficult.
Okay.
I don't know if they can use the same electrical service line. It's the right size service line, and they have to run another one up that driveway. That'll be part of the electrical permit they pulled from the farm marshal.
Mhm.
This one's REC, I believe. That'll just take its natural course. Should work.
Any other questions or comments on this one? If not, I'll entertain a motion to make the recommendation to the Board of Adjustment
With
to,
two conditions.
with two conditions, to provide conditional use permit.
And those would just use the same language as I kind of
Yes,
read in the record. Okay.
yes. Do I have a motion?
Any other questions?
Don't fight over it, kids, come on.
Sure, I'll make the recommendation.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second? Okay, all in favor say aye. Okay, all opposed, same sign. Okay,
Thank you.
you bet. Next item on the agenda is any citizen wishing to be heard. Having no citizens in attendance, we'll move on to the next one. Number 5 is commissioner comment or inquiry. Do we have any comments or inquiries at this point in time?
It's not in the record, but we did previously visit about the upcoming meeting dates and availability of members and what to do around Christmas. So we'll hopefully neither one of those becomes an issue, but we'll let you know. And we'll shoot for the 18th of December. And just go with the Monday after Thanksgiving if need be.
Yep,
Fair enough?
sounds good. Anything else? Motion to adjourn. All right. And do we have a second? Okay, all in favor say aye. We are adjourned. Thank you very